Hey, what's up guys? It's your boy Fresh Pepper. So I'm out here at Manhattan Beach and I want to tell you guys about the pros and cons of living in Los Angeles so you can find out if moving to LA is the right move for you. Alright guys, so I just want to talk about some of the pros and cons of living in Los Angeles. Some of the pros is, number one, the weather. You can't beat this weather. The weather in Los Angeles is pretty warm for most of the year. There's a couple of days here and there where it rains or it might be a little chilly, but for the most part it's much better than other cities. So definitely the weather is a plus. Another thing is that there's so many things to do in Los Angeles, so you can never get bored. Los Angeles is basically a city that's full of other smaller cities combined in one. So you can always bounce around from Santa Monica to downtown LA to Manhattan Beach and just move around because there's so many things to explore, so many things to do. And if you feel like getting outside of the city, there's short road trips that you can take on. Like you can drive down to San Diego, which is only 2 hours away. You could drive to Santa Barbara, even Vegas, it's only 4 hours drive, so you can never get bored here. Okay, so the food here in LA is pretty amazing. And what I like about the food is that almost every restaurant has some kind of vegan or vegetarian option. So they're very considerate and it's like everything is really healthy, organic, gluten-free, stuff like that. So if you're someone who's like really health conscious, this is a perfect place for you because every restaurant kind of accommodates for that lifestyle. Another thing about Los Angeles is that there's tons of opportunities to network. I've actually been a part of maybe 3 films right now, and all 3 films I got through networking. So if you're someone who loves to network, this is a great place for you because you can easily meet people in the industry, network and collaborate and join projects, and before you know it, you've reached your goal. Another thing I like about Los Angeles is that even though LA is kind of like laid back, this is a city that's all about business. So if you're someone who is in a creative field, you can actually come here and monetize on your talents. Okay, so another thing about living in Los Angeles as an actor is that you get to audition for bigger projects that wouldn't normally go to smaller cities. So for example, what I've seen happen is that in Los Angeles, they cast most of the principal characters in LA, and then they go to the smaller city where the film will be shooting to cast like the one-liners or the day players and stuff like that. So if you're out here in LA, you're going to get an opportunity to audition for major projects, or even as a model, you can audition and go to casting calls for major photo shoots and major campaigns. So just being here is a great opportunity for you to explode. Okay, so now let's talk about the cons. So one of the major cons of Los Angeles is that it's very, very expensive to live in. It's comparable to New York or San Francisco or maybe even DC. Those are the top 4 most expensive cities in the country. So Los Angeles is very expensive. The rent is really high. Cost of living and just going out in general, spending is really high. So that's something you want to keep in mind. Most people tend to get a second job or a part-time job just to keep afloat. So you have to really consider your expenses before you move here. The second thing I would say is that you definitely need a car. So if you don't have a car and you're planning to move out to Los Angeles, you better get a car because there's almost no way you can survive without having a car here. Because the public transportation is not that great, so everyone tends to just get a car, drive, or you can Uber, but obviously if you're Ubering every day, that could be pretty expensive as well. Another thing to keep in mind is that work gets work. Now when I say that, I mean that if you're working and you're doing stuff with your career, moving from one project to the next project, you're going to get a lot more work because everyone wants to work with people who are already working or doing something with their career. But if you're just standing around and waiting for the next project, you're not going to get it because no one wants to work with someone who's not doing something already. So that's something to keep in mind. When you come out here, you have to hustle, you have to push yourself, get out there and try to do as much as you can with your time. The last thing I'll say that's a con of living in Los Angeles is that the competition level here is very high. So when you go on an audition, if you go on castings, there are going to be tons of other models, tons of other actors that look like you. Maybe they have a better resume than you, or maybe they even know the casting director. So that's something to keep in mind. You have to have really high confidence to be here. You have to have tough skin because you're going to get rejected a lot. So that's something to keep in mind is that it's very competitive and you have to be on your A game. and keep your pencil sharp. All right, guys, so thank you guys for watching. If you're thinking about moving out to LA, or if you know someone who's thinking about moving to LA, share this video with them, drop me a comment, let me know if you have other questions. You know, I'll be more than happy to give you some advice. All right, guys, so I'm about to jump in the water. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.